Hi, my amazing planner friends. It's Jess from my Magical Planner, and today we're kind of going to be going through my planner stack. I'm going to be walking you through how I've set everything up so you can see what the plan is. I have 3 different planners here with me today. I have a Hobonichi Weeks, which I'm using as my health planner. I have a Hobonichi Cousin. This is where I do my content planning. And then I have a catch-all planner that is in an Aura Estelle with Harriet Wright Designs inserts. So I'm going to start, I think, with the smallest, and we're going to kind of work up. Now, this was a last-minute addition for me. I realized I needed to keep better track of things in order to get better answers. So for those of you who may be new to my channel and such, I do have an ongoing intestinal, I think, issue. Essentially, I had surgery a little over 2 years ago and woke up very sick and have been sick ever since. And the doctors have not been able to diagnose or do anything more than treat symptoms. So that's kind of the synopsis anyhow. So I have a white Hobonichi Weeks here, and I just put on this really cute cover with butterflies and everything, which I really like. I found this on Etsy. I will try and link this shop down below. And then on top here, because I do have issues with anxiety, I have the sticky note that I got from Sugar and Sloth, which I think is the best thing ever. This is making me anxious, and this is what I can do about it. So it takes me out of myself a little bit, and I can write down, hey, this is what's going on. Here are some action steps. And just having that reminder sometimes really helps me. So inside, this is probably the planner that I've set up the least, I would say, because I'm still kind of working through it. So not a whole lot on this section. I haven't figured out what I want to do here. I'll probably mark doctor's appointments so I can kind of really see how often I'm going. For a year, I think I was going 3 times a week to different doctors. It was crazy. So this section I'm trying to get to be my movement. Obviously it started January 1st, and because I have had COVID, I haven't marked anything here because I was not wearing my watch. I have an Apple Watch that's several years old at this point, but it still works great for tracking my steps and such. So the plan is to mark down my steps, and just generally I want to see how much movement I'm getting in, and that's the goal there. And then on this page, I'm trying to track the weather, including how much sunshine we're getting, and my mood, as well as pain level, generally speaking. So that's kind of the gist of this area. I did pretty well until I ended up getting sick in December, and yeah, we're getting back on the horse there. As far as the kind of weekly spread here, I'm trying to track everything that I eat on this side with the day, which is a little challenging because I don't always have enough room, but I'm making it work. On this side, I'm trying to track both my energy level and water, and I'm running into a little bit of issues just because I need to figure out how to better allocate that space, because there is, if you look in here, there's kind of a line, and I've been going along that, but I might need a little bit more space. I'm not sure. So I'm kind of figuring that out as we go. Originally, I wanted this area for notes. I may still use it for notes. I'm not sure. But what I found is I actually need to track my symptoms a little bit more closely. So I've started adding in symptoms on this side. I'm not going to show you the more recent days just because it feels very personal right now. But that's the general idea there. And that's pretty much what this whole book is. So that's the plan there. There are some like additional trackers kind of in the back of here, which I think is great. And I am putting in my doctor's offices and stuff on this side, so I have all that information kind of all together. But I don't have a plan for the 365. I probably won't use that page, or I'm considering writing down each time I have a medical test in here, and if there's any like different results I need to be aware of, but I don't know if that's really going to work. So that's kind of the gist of the little health planner. Now we're going to go on to my content planner. So this is in a Hobonichi little case. I can't remember the name of this one, but it came directly from them. I really like it. The pink's a little bright for me, but I like the rest of it, and it's kind of growing on me, to be honest. I really love the inside and the simplicity of this. No, I haven't put like a million things in here. I do have some like page flags I put in here, as well as like a little washi card here, and again I put some sticky notes kind of on the outside because sometimes I like having that. This has a matching case to the other one. I really like the way it looked, so I'm just gonna go with that. It is the full year English version, so on the very first here I do have a version of my word of the year. You'll see the other version when we get into the other planner, but I just have simplify here. I have reduce to basic essentials. That was a definition I found. And this was the other one, to diminish in scope or complexity. And then I kind of summed it up with streamline. I added in this little girl from Joy of Planning. I love her artwork, so I added that in, and I think these were both from Letters to Apollo. They were like leftovers from a kit. Then we have this page. This is our yearly view. I find this helpful when you're kind of trying to plot things out a little bit. Then we have this area. I decorated this using Letters to Apollo. I think most of these actually are from Letters to Apollo. I haven't fully filled this part in. I'm still working actually on what I want my goals to be. I've changed these up a couple of times, and I probably will again because I just am a little undecided there. The top one is for YouTube, so I do have a white deer stationery play button up here, and the bottom one will be for Instagram and has a little white deer stationery Instagram icon there. Then we go into this kind of index. I am simplifying some things this year, so this is a very simple, I don't know if I'm going to be decorating this, but essentially up here I have some goals that I am putting in place. For this month, it's to try and figure out a schedule and limit myself to actually putting out videos on that schedule and not trying to add things in and then ending up not being able to maintain my schedule because I tried to fit other stuff in. And then here I'm putting down my Instagram post so that I can see how many posts did I do, what kind of post, and that kind of thing. In an ideal world, I'd like to do a post a day for the rest of the year, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm going to see how well I can do that. And then down here I have, you know, just a couple of things. I'm like, what are people thinking about? So I can keep that into perspective when I'm planning other things. So I just have a couple of themes that I put down here, and that's kind of it. And you have this for the full year. Then this was December. Because I was transferring from the old planner to this one, I just put down the actual videos that I had put out on here, and I used some Amo markers to do this and added in a couple of florals. Those are from Sticker Guru. Here is the January general plan. This is actually going to change, and I know it's going to change because I want to do a little research and figure out what days should I be posting. There were some videos that I was like, oh wait, I should have included here, and maybe it's I need to do 2 videos or 3 videos a week. I need to kind of figure that out. I have in here trying to add back in my other channel, which I have a Disney pin channel where I open and show off collectible pins because that's my other passion. This is kind of what this is me plotting out not only what videos I want to do, but filming days and an off day and trying to coordinate all that. The other thing I will say about this page is that all the stickers are from Sterling Ink. I think my PR contract with them, or whatever you want to call it, is up, so I'm not sure if my PR code works anymore, but you can try just 20. It may or may not still work. And so I used all of her stickers here, and then these are her tabs. I get her monthly subscription, which I love, and I love how lightweight her stickers are in the planner. I get her washi stickers. So I have January marked there. Because she hasn't come out with the full year, I only have January marked. And then I also have the weekly pages here marked with January. I kind of started to put this together, but hasn't completely gone, you know. So this is when Jared had his surgery and I got sick with COVID. And then I started to plot out this week and did not realize the marker was not dry and put my hand in it, and so I have some smearing going on here. This is gonna be kind of, I want this video to go out this week as well as the monthly plan with me, so I might do a Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure yet. But that's kind of what this is plotting out where all of my videos are, what days do I have time for editing, what are the things that I want to try and make sure I do this week, that kind of stuff. And down here I can make to-do list. And then I haven't really had a chance to do much here in the back, but this is generally, you know, over here I can do video ideas that I might have for the month. And then I will be doing research and such on these pages. So like January 1st page is going to be filled up with I need to go in and look at my analytics and figure out what the best days to post on YouTube and that kind of thing for me. And then I did use all of the tabs here. These are from, I think they were from Hobonichi as well. So they perfectly match all of the days. I do not know why I didn't put January on like January 1st. It was, I don't know. I realized it later. But they all perfectly match. And then I just have a notes page back here and then a 365, which I think I'm going to be using as my days that I've posted on Instagram, but I'm not 100% sure. I know I should have figured that out already. And then here I kind of want to look back at each month and say what was my best performing post or video and put that in the cipher area. So that's the Hobonichi Cousin. The only other thing I have in here is like a little notebook in the back here. Then we go into my catch-all planner. This is where all of my family stuff and like the day-to-day life stuff goes. So I love the new planner. I haven't figured everything out, obviously. I don't have a pen in the pen loop. I don't have anything over here. I am still figuring out what do I actually want with me, and I don't want clutter. So I love the feel of it. I love the way it's protecting everything. So these are my inserts. Pretty, you know, straightforward there. And then we get into, this was, because it was an older insert, so it did have last year's calendar here. So instead I decorated it with this big sticker from Kawaii Designs and just added some floral around the edge to kind of finish covering up the parts that I didn't want to see. Then we go into this side. This is the 2023 calendar, and I've gone through and I've tried to mark off like big things that are going on, like school calendar for kids, so I can see that when they have no school, when they have half days, special events that we have going on. I have a trip coming up. My husband has work trips, things like that are all on here. It doesn't have the full year yet because some of that, as we get into the later part of the year, isn't planned out. So that's kind of where that is. And then opposite that, we go into my 2023 kind of goal planning for the year. And this part isn't done because I printed it, but I printed it at the wrong side. I went into Canva and put together this really simple vision board. This is my vision board for the year. So I just have like a little simplify, because that goes with my word of the year. I have, you know, someone helping somebody else. I have some travel stuff here. I have this balance and health kind of symbol here. There's some working stuff and a really nice house picture. So I'm going to shrink this down and then add it here so I can see it. Then we go into goals. So before I go into this, I'm going to show you my word of the year, which is simplicare. So this is actually a medieval Latin term, which is the root of simplification or simplify. and it means to make easier to do. I liked the fact that we have the word care in here so much that I was like, that is it. That is what I want. Down here, I have two quotes. The first one is from Hans Hofmann that says, "The ability to simplify means to eliminate the unnecessary so that the necessary may speak." And the other one is from Leo Baboto. I'm probably saying that name wrong, but it says, simplicity boils down to two steps: identifying the essential, eliminating the rest. And I thought those were really significant. And then up here, I have my yearly goal, which is this year, I want to be able to leave survival mode. There have been so many catastrophic things that have happened at our house in the last year, and just big movements that have made it to just get through the next thing. So I want to break out of that kind of mode, for lack of a way of putting it. Find time to enjoy life instead of moving from one activity to the next. Understand and live in my health limitations. Remove the clutter from my life and return to the basics. That's kind of everything that all of my goals are based on. Normally, this would be where my vision board was, but because these come out, I didn't realize that I had grabbed the wrong sheet. So instead it is here, but I think it's going to turn out just fine. I did use some washi from the washi shop to kind of do the edging here. And I just kind of, with my craft knife, came in and trimmed around here to give it that nice edge that I wanted, and added in a couple of butterflies and florals. Okay, now for goals, right? So I have a couple of different categories, and each category kind of has a two-part to it. So the first one is family. So I have this really beautiful leftover sticker from a Bridgerton kit that I absolutely adore. And on this side we have kids. So I want to lessen kid activities. I need to get the kids into daily chores. And some of that is simplifying things, figuring out new ways to communicate with them and not make it overwhelming, and figuring out systems that will work for them. For those of you who don't know, I have kids with ADHD, not minor ADHD, kind of significant, and I also have children with autism. They do have ASD level 1 diagnosis, so it is more of a, like, you wouldn't notice if you just met them on the street for the most part. So I also want to continue my monthly check-ins. Those are, I do monthly and I try to do weekly check-ins with the kids, where I sit down and I'm like, what do these kids need for this month? And then I also go and I try to weekly check in with them and figure out, are we okay this week? Do we need to change anything this week? Is there anything big going on? Those type of things. As for me and my husband and our marriage, we have a very good marriage, but that being said, that doesn't mean that there isn't room for improvement, right? My husband also is autistic. I have anxiety, and the two of those can sometimes kind of battle with each other. So we have work on communication. I say we, but it's mostly, this is what I feel we need to work on. And he agrees with me because he's such a nice guy. We need to work better as a team with all of the chaos that has happened. What has occurred more is a divide and conquer approach, and we need to bring it back to working together so that one person or the other isn't carrying the load. I'm going to continue my monthly check-ins with him as well, and you'll see that in my January setup and everything. So for health, I have it split into two categories. We have physical and we have mental. So under the physical, it's understanding my energy level. That has been really hard, really, really hard, because I can get burned out really fast. Making rest a priority, log my symptoms and food, and wear my watch and track my steps so that I know how much movement I'm doing. For mental, the top priority is don't give up, because after 2 years of seeing lots and lots of doctors, having an undiagnosed condition can be really challenging, and you start to think, oh, is it in my head? Am I a mental case? Like, why can't I do these things? So there's a lot of that going on right now. Take one day off from everything each week. I'm working on that. It is really hard. I want to do one solo trip a quarter. That's just for me because I can get so lost in taking care of everybody else in my house that I forget about me, and I have travel anxiety. And one of the key ways to kind of tackle that type of stuff is not to accommodate it completely, but to work through it. And in order to work through it, I have to go somewhere, because if I don't go somewhere, it gets worse. So I have my first trips planned. I'm going to be going to DC to go wild. I am absolutely terrified, but it is set up. I have my plane ticket. I have my go wild ticket. It will happen as long as I don't get sick. And I also want to work on a better self-image, because with everything else that's going on, it can be really challenging. I go to a lot of doctor's appointments where they're like, well, and this is an actual quote from a doctor, actually a quote from at least two, I think I've given you enough motivation to lose weight. And when you're there and you can barely eat and you have no energy to move because you're so sick, being told to go on a walk it does a lot of things. To be completely honest with you guys, I am considering liposuction, because I'm tired of being the fat girl in the office when I go into a doctor's appointment, because that's all they see. So, that's kind of where things are mentally. So I'm working on that. For the For Me section, I have accepting help. This is kind of my personal growth. Normally it would have been spiritual, but I'm not feeling that this year, so I just added it as personal growth, and help others, but learn to say no. So that's a boundary thing I want to be working on with my therapist. As far as education goes, because I feel better when I'm educating myself, I want to learn one new video technique per month. Originally I was thinking editing, but there are filming things I could also do. I want to read 12 books a month, and not a month. I want to read 12 books this year. I wanted a goal that I felt I could achieve, and I know that I can at least get in one book per month. Take time for creativity. Sometimes when you're doing so much, you forget to allow your mind to relax and think of the more creative stuff. So that's kind of what that's about. And then on this side, we have financial. So this one was a little harder to break up into two, but these are my financial goals. And then this is something I want to keep in mind when I'm buying things. So the first part is take part in the budget. Budgeting is really hard for me. It's scary. I'm very, very privileged. I understand that. I went from living with my parents to living with my now husband, and I've never had to take care of the bills per se. And so I don't know how. And trying to learn is so overwhelming at this point with my anxiety. So I'm trying to take part in that. Spend list that I pay on my Visa. I got a little out of hand this last year with stickers and everything, so I'm trying to be better on that. Plus, with we're hiring some help, which I'll get into in the next section. I need to balance some other things and give up some other things in order to make that happen. Understand why I buy things. That'll be going over here. And use what I have, because I have a lot of extra. So, and then over here I say, before I buy, I want to make sure I ask myself, do I need it? Do I have room for it? Will it solve a problem? And why do I want it? And as long as I can satisfy myself with all of those things, then I feel like buying it is okay. For home, this is kind of my physical and almost mental space at home. For overall goals, I have make home a haven and have a home I'm proud of. So I am proud of my house, but there are things I am not proud of in my house. So I want cleaner spaces. For the last year and a half, because of my health, I have been able to do the picking up and the absolutely necessary things, but the deep cleaning has been hard. And so we are actually hiring help, which I have here, to help with that. I also want to hire help where we need it so things can get done. Reduce what we don't use, hire help, finish projects. We have a lot of half-finished projects. Some of those are mine, some of those are my husband's. To give you an example, currently the kids' bathroom has a top layer of like a first coat of paint on it, but not a second coat, because I painted it and then I lost energy and then I got sick and I just haven't gotten back to it. So hopefully that'll happen soon. And clean up the yard and garden, because of my health, I haven't gardened in 2 years, so you can guess what that looks like. And then you also have the fact that my husband has a fiber business and ADHD, and so things get left a lot of places, and I haven't been out to pick up after him. So we're just kind of work on that. Add to that we had a lawnmower that broke halfway through the year, and then it took months to get it back, and yeah, it was a whole ordeal. So I'm going to be working on getting those things into a better space. And then down here I have career. I didn't know what else to call this area. This is my Instagram and YouTube as a stay-at-home mom. This is the area that I do for me, so I can feel like I'm accomplishing something. I can go into why I started my YouTube channel and everything at some later point, but for YouTube over here, I have make a schedule, limit my videos no more than 3 a week. That's so that I can keep that schedule and focus on quality. I want to produce videos that are amazing. I don't feel like all of my videos have been. So Instagram, I want to make connections with people. I want to focus on reels because I feel like reels perform better and engage with others more. I think connections and engage with more people are kind of linked, but they are separate as far as the stickers I use. So I can tell you where most of them are from. Some of them are a little harder. The florals are from Letters to Apollo. The signage type ones are all from The Giving Girl. This is from White Deer Stationery. The girls are all, with the exception of the couple, are from Paper Dolls Co. The couple, I believe that was Two Little Bees. So if you have any questions about any of the other stickers, feel free to let me know down below. So there's that. And then we have this cute quote that came with the printouts. It says, "There are dreamers and there are planners. The planners make their dreams come true." I like that quote a lot. Over here, I have my monthly kind of household things that I need to be checking on just as reminders. And then we do start with December. This is the inserts from Aura Estelle. I did buy these near the end of last year. So I did have to transfer into here early because there was a mix-up with the way things were printed in my ring bound that I used last year. Or spiral bound, sorry. But generally, here's what we have. We have our December dash page. I have my December view here, monthly. And then we have all of our weekly pages through here, which I like the way all of these turned out. I like being able to pull them out. This is when I got sick, and so we haven't gotten anything there. And then we go into January. I have made my dashboard page here. This combined with the monthly, I think, is going to be coming out in the next couple of days. So I have that, and that's pretty much as far as I've gotten here. So that's all of that. And then at the back here, did I put anything? I think I just put in some extra pages, honestly. So we just have some blank pages and stuff for me to take notes, and that at the back. So that's pretty much my setup for all of my planners for this year. Obviously it's a work in progress, but I hope that is helpful for you guys. So until next time, I'll see you guys real soon.